I'll start by my name. My name is Pastor Darron Lamonte Edwards, D-A-R-R-O-N, last name E-D-W-A-R-D-S, lead pastor of United Believers Community Church, and one of the co-organizers of Getting to the Heart of the Matter. First of all, I thank you for coming. I'm here because of one line that has been widely disseminated, which stated that the Heartland Presbytery is not anti-police, but they are anti-process. They are against the process. I wanted to come this morning to say that there is an there's an anti-police process of community engagement called Getting to the Heart of the Matter. So when I read that line in the newspaper and heard that line on many of your networks, I felt that either Heartland Presbytery is either not informed or not in tune with this process. But before I begin, I need to state a few things. Kansas City needs joined hands, not pointed fingers. Kansas City needs an open heart, not closed fists. Kansas City needs leaders to talk to each other, not talk about each other. Kansas City needs trusted voices, not simply loud and misinformed voices. So today we stand as a whole and together that we are endeavoring to bridge the gap and get to the heart of the matter with the police and with our beloved community. Kansas City's in a hard place. And it's going to take some hard conversations and hard discussions to get to the heart of the matter. And it's all about inviting everybody to the table so that Kansas City can truly become a safe city in every zip code. That's the goal. Getting to the heart of the matter embodies over 50 faith communities, has instituted a weekly report disseminated to over 100 presently key stakeholders in the faith, business, political sphere, as well as neighborhood association leaders. Anyone who would like to be added to the Getting to the Heart of the Matter email list, simply contact Officer Jason Cooley and you can be added immediately. So what's the update? In 2021 alone, we have hosted 3 patrol division meetings with community stakeholders. We've met with Metro, South, Shoal Creek, and as soon as this is over, we'll host one with North Patrol. We've hosted, paid out of our own pockets, 2 lunch, listen, and learn with the Baptist Ministers Union, Concerned Clergy, Church of Scientology, and other vested leaders where we sit down with the chief of police and have hard conversations. In a few moments, I'll address the Board of Police Commissioners. I'm there at every meeting, so the department at its highest level knows what work is taking place in the community which we all love, so that communication can be open and that progress can be made. Progress being made. That's tough to say. I will admit there's so much to be done in an ever-climbing, violent crime rate. Much to be done to solve problems that are still alive in 2021 that existed back in 1861. Hard conversations. When our children are falling and fading like pest to pesticide, hard conversations. When we are wearing $100 shoes but our life is headed in the wrong direction, hard conversations. When we got on $1,000 hats but they're sitting on top of 10-cent heads, hard conversations. When mass shooters are arrested and armed and people of color are killed and unarmed, hard conversations. And when we look closer at our current homicides in KC, we need a targeted approach. We need something with emotional maturity, conflict resolution. As we see these trends in homicides are really over the way we see each other, feel about each other, and ultimately how we choose to deal with each other. Kansas City's in a hard place. And it's going to take some hard discussions to take place, and that's what Getting to the Heart of the Matter is all about. Sponsoring listening and learn conversations. Now, I would like to say this, that there would not be a Getting to the Heart of the Matter if Chief Rick Smith did not endorse it. I would like to say it wouldn't be a getting the heart of the matter if division commanders didn't support it. There would not be a getting to the heart of the matter if community interaction officers were not involved in it. That's the process. That's what we're trying to do. And so from that, I received a letter from Heartland Presbytery that I want to read in your hearing. It's addressed to the Board of Police Commissioners. They sent it to me, and it's also been sent to them. It says, in representing the Heartland Presbytery, the Presbytery Council has asked Dr. D. Cooper to convey the following clarification from our previous statement. On behalf of Heartland Presbytery, we want to reaffirm that the intention and spirit of our letter was to ensure that a transparent process of reform occurs. We support the different avenues through which these much needed reforms are being accomplished. We affirm the different groups working hard on them, and we need much more work that needs to happen. Signed by the interim executive presbyter, Reverend Dr. D. Cooper. And so, in the final analysis of my remarks, those are the processes. We need to have hard conversations. No question, Kansas City is in a hard place. So before I take any questions that you may have, certainly my heart goes out to our friends and family and loved ones in Boulder, Colorado, in what they're dealing with, the loss of lives and certainly the loss of an officer in that setting. So again, this is not to point fingers at anybody. This is certainly not a rebuff or a fight in the body of Christ. This is really just to bring clarity to a process that's trying to have hard conversations, because we all know that our city is in a hard place. Are there any questions?
Pastor Edwards, will the presbytery now become part of the heart of the matter? Will they become part of your process? We have extended the olive branch, and we have opened the door for them to be a part. They are instantly added to our email list, which they'll receive this Friday. And from conversations with the executive presbyter, they are having a conversation this evening about joining Get to the Heart of the Matter so that they can be an active part of what's taking place. And when you talk about progress, can you cite some concrete examples about how the relationship between police and minority communities have changed in the last year? What's going on out on the streets that's different now than it was a year ago?
Yeah, on the streets, that's where the hard place is. It begins at the table. It begins sitting at the table so that the streets can get better. When we look at examples of Omaha 360 and Boston 10-point plan, it took those great initiatives 3 to 5 years before they began to see the fruit of their labor. But what's happening now is that we are at the table. This, to my knowledge, has not happened in a very long time. And now that we're at the table, we expect to see changes in the street. We demand to see changes in the street. We want to see changes in the street. There are people who are community stakeholders who are holding my feet to the fire. So there's changes in the streets.
I just want to make sure I'm clear then, that right now we're talking about just negotiating those changes in a room like this one, not seeing the actual implementation out on the streets.
There are things that are happening out in the streets. I'd be remiss to say that they're not happening, but there's more that can happen.
But nothing you can cite specifically as an example right now.
Well, the reforms are in place. Those things are happening.
Just something I can visualize, people can identify with, an actual example.
I would defer to the police. Maybe they can answer that question better than I can, since they do the job. I'm not here to speak for them. I'm here to speak about getting to the heart of the matter.
Pastor, one quick question to clarify. Are you denouncing just that one specific comment that was made last week, or the entirety of the letter that the presbytery issued?
I'm here to talk about the one-liner. After having a 35-minute conversation with the executive presbyter, they recanted that one line because they did not know that there was a process that was moving, that was in place. And so their positions are their positions, and I respect their positions and their convictions. But I wanted them to be clear that there is a process that's moving forward that we all can be involved in. Anything else?
Pastor Edwards, so you said you all have a seat at the table now. Having a seat at the table, not having a fork and a spoon and a plate means nothing. You're just sitting there as a placeholder. So what are some of the objectives? I know one of the things was the body cameras. We don't know whether they're in place. They say they are, but nobody's seen them. So what are some of the other things that you hope to take away from having a seat at the table?
Well, thank you, Eric, for sharing that question, and it's a great question. And I'm leaving here going to the Board of Police Commissioners because that's one of the discussions on the table today is the body cameras. And so my hope is to report that back out to where we are with that and how those are across all the police divisions. Also, just continue to look at the things we know that are important, de-escalation. Looking at things that are important, strangleholds, chokeholds, making sure these reforms are actively put in place so that our city becomes a safe city and so that we can really get to the matters and the outcomes that the citizens of Kansas City want to see. And so we're excited to see some of the things that have happened and things that are continuing to happen. But there are hard conversations all the way across the board, and people agree and disagree, and it's healthy if we're going to reach outcomes. I believe until people become uncomfortable, Eric, learning doesn't take place until we get uncomfortable. Thank you.